We're here with Councilman Edmund Mack, Ward 8, Democrat, City of Canton. And tonight, as Stark County Political Report walked in on the work session, Councilman Mack was making the beginnings of a presentation on Canton becoming a charter city.
That's right.
And good give and take.
Absolutely.
And even Councilman Griffin, who asked some questions during the session. I talked to him before council meeting began, and he said that he felt that you made a very good presentation. But he's still against the proposal to go charter. Are you going to have the 8 votes you need to get it to the citizens of Canton to vote on?
It's going to be very close. There's 5 votes, of course, that we know about right now that have co-sponsored this communication with me, and then it's going to come down to 3 additional votes that would be needed to put this in front of the voters. I think the votes are certainly in play, and I think that it's possible to have this come through and to have this to be able to put through the citizens of the city of Canton, but it's certainly not guaranteed. And certainly I will continue to ask to answer any questions that I can, and hopefully try to articulate and convey to my fellow colleagues that this is something that's good for our city. There may be some small degree of what would be unknown, but I don't know that that's something we should let stand in the way of progress, and I really fundamentally believe that that's what this issue is.
Well, it seemed to me that the major move that you made tonight, and you and I talked about this, is to provide concrete reasons why it's in the interest of Canton to seriously consider going charter. So my own take on your presentation tonight is that you presented quite a few examples of concrete examples of benefits, potential benefits to Canton if Canton goes charter.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I think you and I both discussed that's the challenge. It's such a broad, high-level issue, and it's so easy to talk in just generalities, but the challenge is to identify issues that can affect the everyday lives of these councilmen, of these citizens, because I think certainly the consensus is if we are going to do this, history is our guide, we don't want to see dramatic changes. What are the small changes that can actually affect what we're doing? And, I've worked at it, and I've talked with a lot of people, looked at certainly over 24 charters of other cities, and have identified some of those changes that do make sense, that can affect us right now, that are politically acceptable, and give us, the most important thing, the machinery to make changes as time progresses. I think we're getting closer. Now we have 2 weeks to let the rubber kind of meet the road, and we'll see where these remaining 3 people finally end up.
Now, Council President Alan Shulman, during the discussion during the work session, looked at you and said, Councilman Mack, is this a matter of Columbus making the decisions for us, or us making our own decisions? Was that a fair summary of what it's at stake?
I think that's absolutely fair. When we look at our civil service laws, those should be a matter of Canton concern, not Columbus concern. When we look at how we can dispose of property, our legislators, God bless them, a lot of good people down there, Cantonians should be making those decisions. So I think it absolutely is an issue of whether Columbus knows best what's for Canton or whether Canton knows best. And, so many cities don't have to deal with this because they're already a charter. And I think that if we can bring Canton, not even to the 21st century, into the 20th century, it would be such a step forward. It absolutely would be.
So you'll be working between now and July 14th to find those 8 votes.
Right. Well, we got 5, so we need 3 more. And I think the nice thing about this issue is it's an issue that can rise and fall on its own merits. There's not going to be any trading or anything like that. The challenge is the give and take, the discussion, kind of working through the issue, because it can be a complicated issue. Hopefully 3 additional people agree that this is the right way to go.
Now, if I heard correctly this evening, there's already been some discussion with potential candidates for the Charter Commission 15.
Right.
Council President Schulman, I understand, is going to be one of the candidates.
Right.
Are there some other names that you have for us?
Well, there certainly are names that I have in mind, and I've been trying to, speak with people that I know have the best interest of Canton at heart, that would be willing to do this for free and to have the time to put in what's required to do it right. I've been making some phone calls. I called Dick Reinbold. Certainly, I think he would be a fantastic candidate.
He was at the work session tonight.
He was at the work session tonight. Now, whether Dick is willing to do this, you'd have to certainly speak with him, but there are so many people that we can identify that everyone would be comfortable with. Not just everyone on this council, but everyone in the city of Canton would do a good job. Alan's one of them. Dick Reinbold's one of them. I hope that as we move through the process, we can identify 15 of those people, representing all sections of the city and all of our diverse backgrounds, and it's absolutely possible.
Is there going to be a good mix of Republicans and Democrats? Do you know?
Well, I'm sure it will be Democratic heavy, given the the ratio of our city.
Yeah.
I think it's 7-1, something like that. So I would expect this to, in fairness, to somewhat reflect that. But at the same time, I think it's, when we look at having representation, 1 of 15, there should be women, there should be minorities, they should be from the Southwest End, they should be the Southeast End, and they should have, differing political viewpoints as well. Mr. Gayton, who is very, very well versed in charter government because of his experience in the city of Canton, would be a perfect candidate to sit on this charter commission. So I do hope there is, not ignoring the political realities that it's not going to be 15 Republicans, just given our city, but I think it's important to have a true representation of our people. So the final document ends up something that is reflective of Canton.
I've talked with your fellow councilman Kevin Fisher, and as I understand him, one of his concerns is one that you touched on in your comments of just a minute or two ago, was that some sections of the city of Canton are going to be left out on this charter commission.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I mean, if you look at Southwest Canton, a natural choice to serve on the charter commission would be Auditor R.A. Mallon. He would be perfect. Other persons from the Southwest side, there's Canton City School Board members, both present and former, that live there. We look at the Southeast End. There are attorneys that live in Ward 4 that would have an understanding and do a great job on this charter commission. If we work together and identify these persons and approach this in an analytic and a thoughtful way, we can ensure every segment of the city is represented. I think we should work together to do it.
Now, it could be more than 15 people on the ballot, correct?
True. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. There could be an unlimited number of names. There could be 500 names, and it would be the top 15 vote getters of those 500 names. Now, you have to have 50 signatures.
Right.
So there are...
is there a filing fee, do you know?
The City of Canton's not set a filing fee. Whether the Board of Elections has, that would be something they do, but not any function of what we're doing.
Okay, well, thank you, Councilman Edmund Mack.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.